up, everybody? It's your favorite exhausted trooper buyer's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the recently released Star Wars Black Series Mountain Trooper. Shout out to my boy Tyler the Collector. He found that out there in New England somewhere, shipped it to me, so much appreciated. We're gonna take a look at this guy. We're gonna compare him with some other troopers, but first we're gonna talk about accessories. He comes with this blaster, and it's black plastic, and it got the silver dry brushing effect to it, which I do wonder. It's a nice sculpt too, by the way. I do wonder why some of their guns get the dry brushing love and some don't, because they really do look better for it, you know, and it doesn't take much, so it's just bizarre. Well, wait, I got it right here. Like, here's another blaster from who knows from what, but it's just sitting here. But it's definitely a Star Wars one from Black Series, and like, look how much better the dry brush one looks. Like, and it doesn't take much effort, so I don't know why they just don't give it all that treatment. And he holds it, but it doesn't quite line up with his finger in the trigger guard. Like, it's stupid. It's so dumb. He'll hold it. You're gonna be able to get him to hold it, so don't worry about that. But like, if anybody ever looks too close, it's not gonna look right. All right, let's talk about the figure. So the head sculpt looks definitely inspired by some of the Rogue One troopers, but it's definitely unique at the same time. We have this weathering effect done throughout, and just like typical Black Series weathering effects, sometimes it looks better than others. Looks pretty good down here on the shins. Not too bad on the boots, except there's none on the black, so he kind of stepped in the mud jumped over the black sole and onto the white. I get it. Here comes the hot stepper, am I right? Anyway, he has some kind of all over his face, chest, arms. That stuff doesn't look quite as good as the shins, you know, but it's hit or miss. Individual results are going to vary. That shoulder doesn't look bad, for instance, but otherwise it just looks like somebody smeared dookie all over him. I digress. Anyway, we have black paint done, and it looks really good. It's glossy in some places, it's flat in others, and we have some kind of little effects there done in black, and then the silver is added on, and all of that looks good. Silver stuff around the eye brim as well. Sharp. I dig it an awful lot. And, you know, it does kind of look like the First Order inspired, you know, kind of shore trooper design. You know, so it's like the shore trooper of the First Order, which I can get behind that. I think that's pretty cool. All right, what else do we have? We have a ball peg with a neck hinge, so old school Black Series technology there, but it is effective, especially for troopers. Up, down, no problem. Swivel, confused dog look, all of it works well. We have the strap sculpted in, all this line work done. Line work underneath on the undersuit is all done. We have the shoulder pads, which are glued on. They should tuck under the chest armor on a disc hinge that gets you 90 degrees. You also get, oh, I thought you had a bicep swivel there. You do not. But you do get the swivel around. We have red paint added here, and it's at least sharp. A single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees, plus your bicep swivel is there. And then we have black paint added onto white plastic, which is the smart way to do it. It would be really silly to do it the other way. All right, wrist swivel and hinge up, down, but because of the gauntlets, you don't get much out of it. And then we have white paint added there to the black. That does look good, but doesn't quite match the same shade of white. But what are you gonna do? Same for the other side, and we have a holding / supporting hand. It's a long-range rifle, so it makes a little bit more sense, but still slightly disappointing if they're not going to include extra hands. Single ball peg from the chest into the body, and as a result, you get a little bit around, a little bit forward, a little bit back, a little teapot, and a swivel. Not the best, but not the worst. We have the soft plastic here at the belt, sculpted well enough, and I think is new. And then we have the pants, which I believe were used in the past, either by shore troopers or mountain troopers, or not mountain troopers, was the other one, the tank trooper, or both. T-jointed ball joints for hips. I'm not sure if it's the joint or if it's the side plates here, but either way, it's pretty limited. Forward and back, much better. Thigh swivel. Double jointed knee, old style knee with the knee armor. Doesn't look as good, but the range is more effective. I'm kind of okay with either, and I think I honestly prefer this way. It just doesn't always look like it has one little baggy place of pants over the knee, which I think looks silly. But that's just, I mean, I know I've read the comments, like some people like it. So, you know, if you like it, you win. Individual results will vary in terms of preference. All right, we have disc hinges for the ankles. That'll get you an ankle tilt up, down, and a rocker. And it looks like he has little feet proportionately, but that's just my take on that. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad looking trooper as far as troopers go. So, and is fairly effective. There he is with some other troopers that I feel like at least played into the inspiration, if not some of the retool process. You know, the pants specifically, if you like look at this trooper, like it's the same pants. A lot of the other stuff seems to be kind of retooled. So, you know, interesting. I don't know what a mountain trooper is necessarily, so, you know, I guess he looks perfect. All right, final thoughts-wise, let's talk about the negatives. The fact that he can't hold his gun properly is absurd and ridiculous. On top of that, the kind of paint smudges all over the place. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It won't be the same for every figure, but most of mine does not look good. Most of mine looks like he should do a better job wiping or do a better job wiping his children. And honestly, I mean, as far as stuff goes, that's kind of it for me. My only other thing, if I were to really nitpick, and trust me, it's a nitpick, would be, look, if we're going to give release slots, if this is a release slot thing where there's only so many release slots a year and only so many places are going to get release slots, if we're going to do the exclusive route, etc., etc., if that is a thing that we're doing, I would rather not waste it on theme park specific characters, especially when there's so many characters, especially from the sequel trilogy, that we haven't spent the time on yet. Don't waste mine with sequel trilogy characters from a theme park. But that's a personal preference thing, of course, but it happens to be mine. As for the positives, it is an interesting use of different molds of troopers and different retools here and there to kind of give an original look that I think does work for the most part. The articulation works for the most part. It's unique, and yet it seems like part of the fabric of the world. So if you're a trooper fanatic, I would say it's worth it. If you don't care, there's nothing about this figure that's going to make you do so. So I'll leave the ball in your court for this one. It's kind of in that fine category. If you like the design and you want more troopers, you'll be happy with this one. If you don't really care, nothing about this is going to make you feel any differently, like I just said, so I would pass. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.